Hi guys, welcome back to the Knitting Expat Podcast channel. My name is Mina and today it's not a podcast. As you can see, I'm outside. I'm actually in our garden and I'm going to be starting a garden vlog or a garden renovation vlog type video. And I had meant to start this last week, which would have been better because Perry's already started doing a bunch of stuff, so the garden looks a lot different already. But if you don't know, we moved into this house that we're in now almost a year ago, like May of last year, and it's now April. Wow, it's been almost a year since we moved in. Crazy. And whilst we've done some work, well, last year we spent a lot of the time and finances that we had focusing on doing up the ground floor and first floor of the house, because it was mainly cosmetic stuff. It was just repainting walls, replastering, doing the floors. Like I say, it was a lot of work, but it was fairly cosmetic, so we didn't have to do like planning drawings and all that sort of stuff. The lower ground floor, which is where our kitchen and living room and conservatory are, is something that we're looking to tackle hopefully next year. We've started the planning process for that, and we are in the works, like talking to an architect about plans for that, and just trying to get a better handle on costs and what our ideas are, what's feasible, what's not, etc. So that's kind of like in the background, mulling away there. But for this summer, Perry has decided, and I say Perry's decided because really the garden's his baby, and I've given him full reign and permission to do whatever he wants in the garden. Essentially, I'm like, the garden's up to you. Just if you wouldn't mind running your ideas past me occasionally, or if there's something I really want included in the garden, I'll let him know. And I'm like, if you could just slot this in around your plans wherever it works, like there's certain plants that I want or something. But earlier this year, the real impetus for this started earlier this year, back in February, when we had that really bad storm and we lost some of our fence panels. So you can see here we're missing a couple of fence panels on this side. There's a couple on the other side, and actually, as it turns out, the very end of our garden has never been properly fenced. So there's, at the moment, I'll show you in a second, there's a chain link fence at the bottom of the garden. That's not actually our fence. That was put up by the railway company, because there's train tracks behind our house. So that's put up by the railway company. So we've never had any like proper fencing at the bottom of the garden. To be fair, it's fairly safe. It is highly unlikely that anyone could actually get into our garden from the end, just because there are train tracks and there's like tons of brambles and like sharp bushes and stuff there, so it's fairly safe in that regard. Like it's not a security concern, it's more of an aesthetic thing, and also just, you know, so we have our fence. And so then that got Perry thinking about some other stuff he wants to do down here. And if we did decide to go ahead and proceed with the plans we have for the lower ground floor next year, then the lower ground floor is going to be mostly inaccessible for a good chunk of the summer. So we thought if we have the bottom end of the garden sort of done up a little bit, then we have somewhere outdoors that we can hang out that's far away enough from the house that we're not going to get in the way of any construction workers or anything like that, but we also have some outside space that we can use. So I'm going to turn the camera around and kind of like show you the bottom end of the garden and briefly explain the plans. Now, just to let you know, we have a huge garden. Our garden is really long. It's fairly steep as well, like it's on a slope. So the area that we're going to be working on is really like the bottom third of the garden, essentially. Our garden is split up into about 5 sections. So we've got the patio at the top, then there's a little lawn area, then it's the vegetable patch, then there's a patch here where the play equipment is and the summer house, and then there's another bit at the bottom where we've got a couple of sheds. So we're just going to be focusing on the area where the play equipment is and the sheds at the bottom of the garden, because quite frankly it's a really big area and I didn't realize how big it was. And coming down here now with Perry having started some of the work, I can really see I can see how big this is going to be. So alright, I'm going to flip the camera around and kind of talk you guys through it. Alright, so that's the house at the top of the garden up there. You've got the first couple of sections up there, you can't really see them, and then we've got the vegetable patch down here, which we are overrun with wild strawberry plants. They're like literally carpeting this whole side of the vegetable garden, but we never get to actually eat any of the strawberries because the pigeons get to them before we do. So, but they're basically spread everywhere. We have a peony bush and some bluebells, which is quite nice. And yeah, so everything's going to start from like where these wooden planks are, where these steps finish sort of thing, and down to the end. So what we're getting done essentially is most of this is going to get cleared. The play equipment's staying, the summer house is staying. The two sheds at the end there are like half rotten, so they're going to be gone. They're going to be gone. As you can see, Perry's already started cutting back a lot of the trees and stuff. They were just overgrown, so it was more just about cutting back. This tree, Perry's already cut it back a lot in terms of branches, but we've decided that tree's got to go. It's just in a really awkward position and it's going to go. So we're going to be getting rid of that one. And the main plan, like I said, is just going to be to clear the ground, get rid of all the crap. There's a lot of rubbish down here. There was a lot of rubbish left by the previous people, kind of like Perry's added to it now, but that pile there was a pile of rubbish there from before. The previous owners had used it kind of like a mini dumping ground, and you can see the fence panels are broken there from the storm. So like I said, the broken fence panels is kind of what started this whole thing. So we also had this archway that had a honeysuckle on it that's fallen over, unfortunately. So that's not, it's broken and it's not salvageable anymore. But yeah, you can see the chain link fence at the end there, and that's basically where our garden ends. And that bottom end bit after the shed had sort of like a makeshift shelter over it. Like all this corrugated plastic was like this makeshift roof. And honestly, like this shed is a really good size, this one. If it hadn't been so badly placed, like it's right in the middle of this section, so it's really awkward. If it was more in the corner or at the back, we might have been able to keep it. But right now, according to Perry, that when you go inside that shed, it's like a spider graveyard, so I'm not going in there. And I will spare you guys the terror that is. Like I said, the play equipment is staying. That's not really going anywhere. We have two apple trees here which are staying as well. We're not getting rid of those, but you'll kind of be able to see here there's a step there, kind of like where the apple trees are. So that bottom area is going to be leveled off and turfed to one sort of like flat level, and then this next section here between where the vegetable patches end and the apple trees is going to be sort of flattened and turfed to one level as well. And yeah, that's basically it. The summer house needs a new coat of paint. I think the play equipment probably needs a new coat of paint as well, but that's mainly the plan. And Perry's getting a landscaper in, or a gardener in, to do a lot of the work. So he's doing some of the prep stuff now, but a lot of like the leveling and turfing is all going to be done by this other guy, and the fences are going to be put in. And our side gate was broken, so that's going to be fixed as well amongst all of this. So the plan is that this will hopefully all start next month. He's provisionally given us a date in early May, but that's on the proviso that some of his other projects finish in time. So we'll see. Hopefully before sometime around mid-May things will get going, and before the baby comes the garden will be sorted, or at least this end of the garden will be sorted, so we'll have somewhere nice to hang out and enjoy the summer this year, which will be nice. That shed, the big shed, actually has electricity running to it as well, so we'll be able to I don't know, have some outside lights if we want to, or something down here as well, which would be nice. Perry has got a new shed to go down in the bottom here because, like I said, unfortunately it's not movable, the one that's there. If it was movable he would have tried to repurpose it, but it can't be moved without damaging it. It's not, yeah, it's pretty damaged already. So yeah, that's the plan. Like I said, Perry's already started doing a lot of stuff, cutting down branches and clearing some of the stuff. So fingers crossed all goes well. Like I said, this is just the beginning. Kind of wanted to give you guys a bit of a before and then take you along the process. I'm not sure how much of the during I'll be able to film, but I'll definitely come down and show you guys how things are going. Alright, so the landscaper, gardening people are supposed to be coming today to start work on the garden. Perry's done a lot of work already. There was a little shed there. Sorry, I've got my coffee. A little shed there that he's already dismantled. They've got to dismantle this big shed. Perry's just getting the last little bits out. You can see all the fence damage from the storm we had a few months ago. There's so much ivy. There's a couple of dead trees back there and stuff. It's just ridiculous. You see that on the tree here, you can see how thick the stem of that ivy plant has gotten wrapped around that tree. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what this end of the garden starts to look like once it's been worked on. And then this is what the rest of it looks like at the moment.
But I still have to cook. I'm still having to cook it.
The end of day 3. Day 3, day 4. I think they've been here 4 days now.
Look at mine, Daddy. Mummy, come and look at mine.
Layla for scale.
I don't go any further.
That's all right.
Can I?
You can if you want a little bit. Just be very careful where you're stepping.
Video of a grass snake.
Yeah.
Sorry, they're only marble.
No, they're not. They're not. Don't say stuff like that. So all of this is going to be fenced in properly. See what that chain link is. All that's going to be fenced in. All that. And so they started putting in the fence today. Hello. It's a video, honey. You can talk. So yeah, it's not too bad. Cleared pretty much everything.
We're getting grass. We're going to get grass.
Yeah, they're going to turf it all. They're going to put grass
For our
down.
baby, that's Mummy's tummy.
It's for all of us.
Yeah.
We're going to have picnics in the bottom of our garden. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
In the summer, we can have picnics in the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the garden? So this is the finished bottom of the garden patch, I guess.
Hi.
So this is about a third of our garden in total. It's still waiting for the turf to bed in properly, but yeah, some of the last bits. Okay, honey. Some of the last bits Perry wanted to do was to repaint the plaything and the summer house. We started repainting that last summer but never got around to finishing it, so his parents are here today and they're helping out with that.
And Molly's here.
And Molly's here, the dog. And then I think
she's only 2.
okay, and I think tomorrow Perry's got a friend coming around who's going to help him build a shed that's going to go in that back corner there where that base unit is. But yeah, otherwise it's looking really good. And then the railway company who owns the land behind our garden, they've this last week come and cleared a bunch of overgrown vegetation and cut back some trees and stuff, so it's kind of really opened up the space, which is really nice. I kind of envisage this corner here as like a paddling pool spot for when yeah,
Clean up the pile.
okay. And yeah, so it's really exciting. We've got the baby swing out on the thing, although baby's not going to be big enough for a while to use it. But yeah, otherwise it looks really good. I'm so happy with how it's turned out. And yeah, just because of the slope of our garden, this first level is somewhat level. And then the bottom part's been leveled as well, which is really nice. Just
Some of the other part.
yeah, go on, you want to tell them something? We're going to have a shed.
We're going to have a shed somewhere.
Over there where the black stuff is on the floor.
We're going to have so we're going to have a shed here,
Yeah.
and the rest will be a picnic spot
Yeah, or a football spot. You can play football.
and a football spot.
Yeah. And we've got our 2 apple trees here.
I like telling them what.
Alright, go on.
Sometimes you can have some time and me.
Alright, go on.
We painted today all of like my swing and these parts, and then we painted also these parts and that part.
Looks good.
And then come out here, and you see we painted that part as well.
Oh wow, yeah, looks really nice and shiny now.
And then if you come around this part, you see we've been painting my climbing frame.
Oh wow.
And we've been painting that.
Okay.
And the sides.
Yeah.
And the inside. We've been painting the triangles.
Okay. That's good. And who's been painting the summer house?
Granny.
Granny.
And come over here, and you see I've been planting those bulbs, and these are all my vegetable patch that is full of bulbs.
Oh, you've been
We
planting
planted
flowers.
it in the year.
You planted it in the spring, didn't you?
We planted it in the spring.
Our peonies have ended already. They've flowered and gone. And yeah,
And
there's some more rubbish and stuff that needs to be cleared, but not doing too badly.
And there's also those fences,
Yeah, those are new, aren't they?
and these are different types of rainbow leaves.
Okay. Okay, back down here for the final time. It's the day after the last clips you've seen, but it was a bit distracting with Layla trying to talk over me. So yeah, it's the morning right now, so it's nice and shady down here at the moment. The sun is coming over the trees, so it'll be all in the sun soon. But what I basically wanted to say, this is what it looks like now. What we're planning on doing eventually is, I think, along the fence line, if not all the way around, at least some of the way around, we're gonna, I say we, Perry is probably gonna be planting plants, words. So we kind of like have a bit of a border there. We'll probably have it go around that bottom bit with some bushes. I think Perry's got some hydrangeas in pots up at the top that he wants to plant down here, and a few other things as well. So in no hurry right now, but yeah, really loving how this garden has turned out. Sorry if this vlog's a little bit shaky, but yeah, anyway, just wanted to give you a little final looks around before I end this video. Later today, one of Perry's friends is coming around. Is going to help him build that shed that's going over there, and yeah, and then we're all good to go. All right, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys again soon, hopefully. Probably next time you hear from me it'll be after the baby's here, so wish me luck. I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.